I noticed this post on the Facebook Chief Architect group about doing a window in a thick wall with what I would call splayed sides, angled window jamb. I've done a couple of videos. This double wall window recess shows creating a symbol to do that. And today I'm going to make an updated video showing this same basic thing, but doing a better job. And I've also got this recessed window and thick wall video that shows a couple of different ways you can use a molding polyline to do this. And if you need an arch, this is probably what I would do, because it'd be a lot simpler. These two videos are just in a Doors and Windows playlist. I've got a bunch of playlists here on the channel. So let's go over here to X15. And I've just got a room here. And let's look at it in a plan. I've got two walls. I've got this exterior, and these are both started as just chief default walls. This is a siding 6 wall, and this is an interior 4 wall. And I've changed the display of them a little bit. I've taken away the drywall on the interior of this exterior wall and the back side of this interior 4 wall. And I've removed the lines. I've changed it to a invisible line style. And the idea is that you would color the fill the same, so this would look like one big thick wall. You can actually do what I'm going to show using a single wall, but because of the way Chief windows work, you'll lose the casing on the inside, so you would have to draw in your casing manually. So that's an option. But I'm going to show how to build a symbol that you can use here. And I've already got a couple built, so I'm just going to stick one right in here, and we'll select it and center it on this window. And you can see how that looks. It's got a sill that sticks out a little bit. It's got a couple little horns here. You could, of course, make this sill. Sometimes these sills are slanted, sloped. You'll need a piece up here at the top, because if you don't have a piece up here, then there's a hole. If you use a thin wall, if you use a thick wall like this, there's probably not going to be a hole. There'll be something there. So I've already got a couple more windows here. I'm just going to use this center one to create a new symbol. This one is goofy looking because I was experimenting with some things. This one doesn't fit quite correctly. But I just wanted to show something to give you an idea of where we're going with this. So I'm going to start with a 3D solid. If you're using something that doesn't have 3D solids, polyline solids work just the same. With a few exceptions. So I'm going to start by taking this and just making a wedge shape. And I'm not using any dimensions. I'm just doing all this by eye pretty much. You know, you would obviously be matching something. So I'm going to open this, not that. I'm going to open, one of the pains with doing this is having this wall. So I'm going to I think I'm just going to lock that so that way it's not selectable. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to make this height 52. That's not an important dimension really, just to get us in the ballpark. So over here, I'm going to, you can see where that's poking through right there. I'm going to select this wall and I'm going to make it invisible in this view. And that way we can see what's going on here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to explode it. And now it's just a bunch of faces. So I'm going to delete that face. I'm going to delete that face. We'll see if I can select that face and delete it. And then there's one down here on the bottom. I'm going to delete that. And now I've just got a face there. And you don't really need to do this, but if you look over here in plan, you can see that you get a cleaner 2D representation. There's fewer lines. You can jiggle your your 2D CAD block here to improve it, but I'm trying to get a good start on that. So you have this face. So back over here, if you select that face, there's no option to reflect about. So you have to do this in 3D. So you can select this, reflect about the window. So there's the other side. This is my edit toolbar is up here. I always drag it up from the top and dock it up here at the top. So back over here in plan, let's use another 3D solid. Sometimes there's a snap. They're hard to sometimes pick up. And there's rarely one over here where you want it. This is going to be the top. So let's open that. Make the bottom of it 84. And then again, let's go over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to explode it. And I'm going to delete these faces that I don't need. And of course, there's one back here at the back, which I'll probably never ever get to get. So I'm going to select this and just pull it out. There's that face. Delete that. And let's point to point. See if we can. Put that back there. Now again, you don't have to use faces like this. You can just use regular 3D solids. And you can see, this always bugs me. There's something not aligned here correctly. See, there's no there. It's really hard sometimes to get these to snap correctly. All right, so I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to break it right there. Hit tab, and let's move this out. Maybe inch and a half, just so it's visible. Let's do the same thing over here. Put a break. And that'll go like that. This will go like this. We'll open that. And we want to make it, let's see, I'm going to make this 1.25 inches. And we'll make finish for the top 32. And say OK. So let's look at what that did. Now I've just got these colors. And if you make these things different colors, you can make all these pieces different colors. But if you make them different colors, when they're a symbol, when you create a symbol from all these, then you can paint these all differently. So I can put wood down here on this sill, and I can put drywall on these pieces around here. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to make a symbol. Interior fixture is what I want. I give it a name. Add to library and show advanced options. I'm going to insert into wall. I know my total wall depth, including the drywall on the outside, is 16.5. I shouldn't need to change anything there. In 3D, sometimes Chief will reverse this. When you create a symbol, sometimes it'll make it backwards, and you'll need to revolve it around the Z-axis 180 degrees. But this one looks okay. I'm going to look at the 2D block. That looks good. Advanced sizing. Because I made these horns on this sill stick out 1.5 inches, I'm going to put a minus 1.5 there, and the same thing over here. And let's do some stretch planes. That one is good. We'll do one for the height. I'll just make that 12 inches. You could make it, way down here if you wanted to, and then you could have a really tiny window. And you can see what happens here. It doesn't want to behave because this wall's invisible. And of course I cannot select that wall because it's locked. So wall's invisible. Let's unlock it. Select it. Make it visible. And now that should go in right where it should. So we'll stick it there, center it on the window. Let's look at it over here. Now you see it comes in at the bottom, and I'm not sure. I tried setting the elevation. Where I wanted it. And I can already see a problem with this bleeding. Because I'm using a face up here at the top, it's not thick enough. So you're getting the core of the wall showing through. And also, because there's no drywall on this back wall, you can see the framing right here. Now if you save this, this is another goofy thing that happens. When you change this wall from visible to invisible, these inserts into wall things disappear. So I'm going to just take this drywall material and put it there. And you can see that it left the sill alone, but it put drywall on these 3 pieces here. So I would, for this top piece, I guess I would not use a face. I would use a solid, and I'd make it maybe a 1/16 of an inch thick. The problem if you don't make it, if you make it very thick, you'll see the edge of it up here, and you could fix that by exploding it and then being able to paint this edge across here the drywall color. So this still needs some work, but I wanted to show the basic idea of doing this. And you can select this symbol as it is now, and you can add it to the library. Let's call this 5A, and then I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to stick this one over here. And you can see that it comes in at the same height. And it keeps the colors. So once you have one that is correct, if you save it to your library and then use that one, it'll come in at the same height. It'll keep the same colors. And I think that this could be easier than using a molding line around here. And if you do this, you don't need to do a pass-through at all, because this symbol cuts through. Even if you have 2 walls, even if you had a regular interior 4 wall here, this works easily. And again, it looks okay in plan. If you want to see the window, you can always select this and move it back 1, and now you can see the casing on the inside. Unfortunately, when you save these things to the library, making a new symbol, it doesn't remember the draw order. So you would have to change the draw order for each one of these. I put these on a new layer. You know, these are on the interior fixtures layer. If I was doing this and I had a bunch of windows to do, I'd put these on a different layer. And that way it would be simple to control them. You could change the line color, you could change the, be easy to change the draw order all at once.